There you go.
I don't know a pause button when I say it.
Oh, no,
Oh, no, there isn't. It's stop or start.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, what? We're on. Yeah, we're rolling. Right, so we've done all the filing, and we've ended up with some mucky looking paper, but that was okay. And I've gone back over it and remarked all the areas we've done with
Marker again.
Thank you, marker pen. And even particularly if you've done if there's some parts of it where you've run past it, remark everything that's got fresh scratches on it. Even if it means more than you've actually marked up on the green here, just make sure everything that's been scraped freshly has got black marker on it. And here's the hard bit. I'm going to put Granny's glasses on again. So we are going to aim to change the profile of the fret, and I'm going to get right up close to this. So start with wherever, you can do it comfortably. The idea is to start with the rounded edge. Okay, there's some really sharp ones, but there's a rounded one especially. Start with the rounded one, and I'm going to do something here. Give myself a bit of room. And we're going to press it on there, and I'm going to go up alongside this fret. Can you hear it biting?
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going, I don't need to do all of it, but it doesn't hurt that I do. I'm going up and I'm tipping it over slightly, a tiny bit. And as I'm tipping it over, see how it's taking the black off?
Yeah.
Right? And I'm going to do that same at that end. And I can feel it both biting, or I can feel it biting, and I can see it taking some of the black off. Okay? So I can see it's getting shinier because it's biting a bit. And I just want to keep going until it is shiny up that one side that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? But I don't want to do it so far over the top that this slips over and scrapes the whole top, because I've already finished I don't want to take any more off the top.
Yeah.
So once I've got a bit of a shine going on that side and I've taken some of the black, I can see the black's now coming this way. I switch over to this side still with the soft edge down, and I go back to that side. Just start with this flat and just run up against the side of it, and you'll see a bit of the black coming off, and then tilt over gently, still pushed up against the side of it. And what you'll see, right, can you see it now?
Yeah.
I've left a little black strip along the top, and the aim of this really is to practice getting as little of that black left on the top as possible without flopping over the top. That would be perfectly fine to stop there.
Yeah.
Right, and I'll do the same down here. Again, always start flat, so you're not really taking much off, and then tilt the file a little bit as you go back and forth, and you'll see the black coming off. Right, you see it?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to take a little bit more off the side, and again you can tilt over, but go too far over and you'll skip over the top. So this is that. Let's see if I can show the camera that, if it's still going. Can you see the little thin, pencil thin line? It tells you where we've taken away the stuff on the edges, and we've left a little flat spot represented by the black line on top. That's still a flat spot, but it's a lot less than it was before, and that's what we aim to do. So
You're using that side, right?
putting the rounded side down.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
like that.
So start on whichever side you want, which is right-handed, right?
Yeah.
So I'd hold it by the handle for you.
By the handle,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that instead.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and then start with this level, so you know you're not doing anything, and just feel the edge, feel how it feels to come to the edge of it,
Yeah.
and go nice, fairly long strokes, and see what it's doing to the black stuff. Can you see you're making any mark?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're aiming to leave that little thin line at the top. So if you're not quite sure how it's going on that side, then you can stop, place it on the other side, and
Getting that little bit there.
okay, which might need a slightly different pressure on it. You can feel it's biting, but it's not taking tons off. Okay, now move to the other side, and then what it will do is do the same sort of thing. Just just gently come up against it with a flat surface first so you can feel it, and then once you've got a little bit of bite going, then tilt it over a little bit and then stop. And it's really a game of getting that feel for it at that sort of pressure, so you can end up with that little fairly thin line at the top. It's heading that way. And just not doing it so hard that you end up skipping across, because that can scrape the whole top of the fret again. Yeah.
It's got a bit more on that side.
Not too bad.
Shall we move on to the next one?
Yeah, that's the game. So it always, as I say, always start horizontal, feel it bite a little bit with sideways pressure, and then tilt over, controlled and comfortable. And what will happen is if you do it too much pressure, you will skip across and you'll feel it scrape, and you'll see big diagonal stripes going across the black, which will mean you've scoured the top of the frame. So it's kind of always less pressure than more is the thing. Not too bad. Truth is, even if we went into sanding all this off now, even with that amount of flat on top, it would still play okay.
Yeah.
But the better you get it, the closer the intonation,
Yeah.
the microscopically better the intonation is. A bit arsey, to be honest, at this level, but. Did it go over the top?
No, it went off the side, actually.
I really like this clear lacquer game. Bought some clear lacquer from Rothko and Frost, which seems to be a fairly good supplier of that stuff. For doing,
yeah, that one seems to be better.
Yeah.
And
and move the piece around if you need to, rather than, you've got freedom to move it all around. But yes, this lacquer supplier, you can either buy your lacquer in paint, in spray cans, which I did for the guitar, DIY guitar I made, which is kind of convenient because you can get a nice, fairly even coating, but it's also really wasteful, especially if there's even the slightest breeze. I think 50% of the can of paint goes into the atmosphere and 50% on your guitar, which is, considering it's about 20 quid a can, it's hellishly expensive. So the alternative is brush on nitrocellulose lacquer, which I'm trying out here, which is a lot more accurate in terms of less wasteful, but some people say you're going to find it much harder to get a really smooth finish with it. But given that the role of the sandpapering wet and dry job, once you've done your spraying of lacquer, is to take that rough surface down to a really mirror smooth surface, I can't really see how it would be a bad thing to use a brush. Because to be honest, when I did my spraying, I don't know if you remember, Tom, so I ended up with loads of big kind of dollopy drips rolling down the front of the guitar anyway,
yeah.
which still had to be sandpapered off. Nice of holding your breath.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Okay, it's not bad for starters, and the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be to, this bit here, when you take it over a little bit further, you kind of go, okay, how much further can I go without skipping? And the lighter you go at that point is probably the better. So I'm leaned quite far over, but quite lightly, and the same on the other side. Because really, you just, and I'm standing quite far back, so I can see how thin that's gone there. There are lots of little different tools you can buy for that. There's one set of tools which are diamond edged file, a bit like, well, it's a file with an edge like that, which is concave. Yeah. And that you push over the top of the fret like that, and it cuts that shape into the fret. But the reason I think this method is better is because with that kind of method, you're still taking some right off the top.
Yeah.
This way, you know that when you leave that black line down the middle, you haven't touched the top at all. So it's exactly the height that you settled on when you did the levelling. And the only bit we'll take off on top, the only bit more we'll take off from that is when we go over it with the first layer of sandpaper, which will be about 600, which will take off hardly any. So it really won't mess around with the height at all. The one thing I regret a little bit about this, Thomas, is I didn't, because I took the guitar, the strings, they were so bad I took them off in London. The bit I regret is you didn't get a chance to play this crapper before we did this, because you're going to have done all this and it'll play nice, but you won't have that moment of remembering how rubbish it was before.
Was it worse than the first one we got?
What was it? Yeah, what was the problem? The first one was really high, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So was this one. The first one didn't have such a bendy neck as this one had. So this one had a really crap high action and a bendy neck, which made it even worse. And this one also had mismatched strings. So you put
I played a guitar with mismatched
it
strings.
just feels the weirdest thing.
Yeah,
it feels completely wrong.
We've yet again in school, we constantly have to buy new strings because little year 7s and 8s and 9s find it funny to break the strings. So we run low on strings and eventually have to put a B string where the G string is, and then wind it all the way up, which is horrible.
And probably does have an adverse impact on the neck.
Yeah, like some of the necks we've got this lovely old Spanish guitar, and it's all really nice except for this neck, which is like bent like that. It's horrible. And
then with a Spanish guitar, I probably haven't got a truss rod that you can adjust, so that's it. I think unless you're I don't know what a professional luthier would do that. So I'm going to stop the video again. We've got the mains is plugged in now. I'll stop the video and we'll